Hey there, David Gordon from TheaterMania here. I'm here with Scott Silven, illusionist, mentalist. You might have seen him around the country or around the world at the Illusionist Table, which was here in New York. He's back with a new show this fall called The Journey. It's being presented, it's a world premiere, it's a virtual show. It's being presented by The Momentary in Arkansas and The Broad in California. And it's all online, it's not in person. And so it's going to be something like this, I would guess.
Indeed. It's a really exciting thing to be doing. It's something I've never done before, enter the sort of digital world of shows. And as you say, it's an all new immersive experience. It is live, it's online. And I invite 30 people from their homes to travel virtually across the world to my childhood home in Scotland. And we all go on an adventure together that explores the power of place, home, and connection. And we use their memories and imaginations as the guide on the journey.
Is this a thing that you were in the process of creating to do live and then you just adapted it for the internet? Or is this a brand new show that you can see right now?
It's a brand new show that we conceived. So initially I came back to Scotland just for 2 weeks. I was just in the middle of my world tour. I had 2 weeks break. I said, I'll go home and see family. And then stayed here. I wasn't able to get back into the States. So I initially just started thinking about my childhood home and the power of that place for me and thought, wow, what an amazing time to create a show that explores these themes of connection and home. So that was the initial catalyst for the idea. And then the Momentary got in touch and wanted to collaborate with me in creating this new experience. So that was the first steps for it. And then we've sort of created it in a remarkably quick time.
Have you worked with these theaters before?
Yeah, I've worked with some of the co-commissioners before. We have 9 co-commissioners who came on board, which is incredible, from across the world. And the Momentary, because it's a brand new venue, and this is my first time working with them. So it's hugely exciting.
Yeah. So I guess, can you tell me about like the mechanics of developing a show? One of your shows doesn't necessarily need to be this one, but what goes into the development of a show like this?
It always starts with the big idea, the concept, more so than the illusions. So really what I want to say, what I want to share with an audience, what I want them to feel. And then I work backwards from that and create illusions that hopefully connect with that experience. And I always hope with my shows as well, it's not just seeing a magician on stage doing tricks. It's storytelling, it's narrative, and it's immersive and interactive. So I always start with those concepts and ideas in head. And a big thing I try and do as well is, once again, it's not about me on stage doing these amazing things. It's about putting it in the hands of the audience. Because my specialism is mentalism, it is quite a personal thing to ask audiences to bring thoughts and memories to an experience. So I want it to be as engaging and as exciting as possible. The creation of this was slightly different because usually I have a creative team in the room with me, and we were bringing those ideas together. We're testing things out, and this was brand new. We had people all across the world pretty much doing this, David, where we'd call in every day and discuss ideas and try and make something happen.
What are you afraid of doing this in this format? Like, is it terrifying for you to do it in this way when you're so used to like being
Terrifying is an interesting word. I think initially, yeah, there was great fear that it wouldn't offer the same level of interactiveness that I usually like. But I think I've hopefully carved out something that is quite unique. Number one, people are sitting in their own homes, which I think is such a profound thing. You're instantly comfortable, you're instantly relaxed, you're surrounded by objects of meaning. And number two, we're allowing the audience to have advanced content that they experience and witness and interact with before they come to the show. So rather than blindly coming into a theater, maybe having not experienced my work before, we send the audience a small gift of a special sound experience that they listen to alone that takes them on a journey of their imagination, and 2 special films that ask them to bring something to the show as well. So yeah, the challenges of doing something online has actually offered some interesting opportunities to create new theater with.
I'm trying to figure out a way to say like, so like is everybody expected to participate? Because I know people go see these shows and then they're terrified when they get called on, and they're like,
totally.
So those are the people that you and I, that like illusionists automatically go.
Yeah. David, I'm one of those people as well. Anytime I go to an interactive show, I'm always sitting at the back with my head down. I don't want to take part at all. So I know that feeling of being an audience member and feeling uncomfortable. And this is hopefully not going to be that experience. Because you're sitting at home, you're maybe sitting with people, family or friends beside you as well. You should be relaxed. You're there with 30 other people, so you will all be on camera. But I certainly wouldn't be forcing anyone to be picked for the illusions. But so much of the experience is a collective experience. So it's the 30 people going in this journey together with me.
Is like when you're how do you develop it? How do you develop an illusion?
That's a good question.
Is that a question you can even answer?
Yeah, it so often starts from different places. Starting from the end always helps. So you think, here's what I'd like to do. Okay, that's impossible. How do I use it using the skills that I know? And then you work backwards from there. So very often I'll start with, how do I want an audience member to feel at this point, or connect it to a point of story and try and find out an illusion that connects with the experience from that point. And then, as I say, it goes from the end point and I work my way back to the beginning. So, other times I've listened to a piece of music or I've seen a piece of art and it's moved me in a way that I think, goodness, I'd love to create an illusion that gave me that sort of experience. And then that's the catalyst for the illusion. So there's often very different strands of things coming together.
Yeah. What, did you grow up wanting to do this? Like, have you been interested in this forever?
Yes, frustratingly late, yes, for most of my family, unfortunately. I was like 5 or 6 years old and I said, I want to be an illusionist. And my mum was terrified and worried, but I think it's turned out okay in the end. But just growing up in Scotland as well, it's a place where myth and mystery is so much of its identity.
Right.
So growing up as a kid in those landscapes and hearing these mythical stories as a kid really interested me in the world of illusion, in the world of wonder. So I maybe couldn't define what magic was or what illusion was at that age, but I knew I wanted to create that feeling that I had. And then probably from about the age of 10 onwards, that's when I started taking it pretty seriously.
What is for lack of a better term, like what's the magic scene like in Scotland?
It's pretty small. There was a great magic shop that I used to go to in Glasgow called Tam Shepherd's, and it's one of the oldest magic shops in the world. And there was an incredible guy in there called Roy Walton, and he seemed sort of ageless. Like when I met him, he could have been in his 80s or his 90s, and he still probably is in his 80s and 90s, but was just a great mentor for me and really taught me some incredible stuff at a young age. So I used to skip school and get the train into Glasgow and then go hang around that magic shop with Roy Walton, teaching me these nefarious activities with magic. And, yeah, it was kind of fun. And then there was magic societies as well, but that was never really something that I was interested in too much. My North Star was always sort of creating theatrical experiences that had illusions in them, more so than just being a magician.
Are you the kind of artist who wants people to spend, like we were talking about this before we went live, I watch magic shows, illusion shows, and my entire time I spend trying to figure out how they're done. Like, do you want that? Like, is that, like, do you want people to think about how it's done, or are you the kind of person that doesn't want people to focus on that?
I think to say that I wouldn't want people to know how it's done would be a lie. I think we all have a curiosity and we all have a desire to work out and solve mysteries. I certainly did as a kid as well.
Yeah.
So certainly the hope is that you'll be so engaged in the experience that you will see impossible things and probably cry out that you do want to know how it's done. But by the end, you'll be in a place where it doesn't matter because you'll have hopefully have had such an exciting and fun experience that keeping the mystery alive is a little bit more exciting. But I'm totally like you, David, as I said, that every time I go to a magic show, even anytime I go to a piece of theater, I'm looking at the stuff on stage and working out the mechanics of it. It's just the way my mind works, unfortunately.
Because it's really cool. And you don't start thinking about how much of a skill set people in your profession have to have in order to pull this off. And I feel like a lot of people don't think about that because, people like think magic is hokey or whatever. But it requires so much to do and to do well. Unlike your shows, like the thing at the McKittrick. Like there's just so much skill and savvy required just to like hide from, just so the audience doesn't see the wires, that it's always impressive.
Indeed. And top of that as well, the show I did at the McKittrick, which was at the Illusionist Table, had a multi-layered experience where it was narrative based, there was illusion, but there was also food and whiskey. So it was a full sensory experience that we were creating with that show. And it's similar to this experience where it goes beyond just the magic tricks. We have incredible technology and exciting technology that we're using in this show. We're using things that I don't think audiences will have seen before in the online realm. This isn't a Zoom show where you are, in 30 boxes. You are going to be participating in some exciting ways.
Oh, that's cool. I can't wait. What is your favorite illusion? Do you have one?
I have a couple of favorites. For me, because I study mentalism, anything that seems like pure mind reading, that just effortless pure mind reading without any props, is always something that thrills me. Because as you say, there's no wires, there's nothing to hide behind. It's just one person connecting with another. But as a kid, I was always a sucker for an illusion that involved flying. For some reason, I remember seeing David Copperfield's Flying when I was 6 years old. And just being in a state of awe at that experience. And as an adult looking back on it, you're like, well, yes, I can work out it was maybe this way or this way or this way that he did it, but it's such a powerful illusion that it doesn't matter. And that's kind of what I try and create with all my illusions, is that, as I say, you get to a point where it doesn't matter because you've had hopefully such an emotional and enjoyable experience that it transcends.
Mentalism scares me.
Yeah, a little bit. How so? Why does it scare you?
Do you do like cold reading stuff, or do you do like, what do you do?
So you're really using a variety of techniques in mentalism. For people that maybe don't know what mentalism is, it is using the power of the human mind to create illusions and remarkable experiences from. So it might look like mind reading. But as I say, for me, I call it theater of the mind, which I think is so exciting because there's nothing more powerful than your own thoughts and imaginations. And to create illusions from those experiences, I think is really fascinating. I was like 12 or 13 when I moved into mentalism and away from more traditional things such as card tricks. And then that was my North Star. So as I say, I use a variety of techniques. There is psychological techniques, there's traditional magic techniques, there's theater techniques and storytelling techniques, and you're weaving all those things together to create an impossibility. And I sort of like to leave a gray area in my illusions as well, where you're not sure if it's real mind reading, you're not sure if it's a magic trick, you're not sure if it's something completely impossible. I think there's something kind of powerful about that. I think mystery is quite exciting.
I love that, and it scares me.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault. I love having all of the easy answers, but I also love the fun of thinking about it for days.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Me too.
And that's why I'm excited to see the journey, to go on the journey with you.
Indeed. I can't wait to invite you there. It's going to be exciting.
Tell us the dates if you know them off the top of my head, off the top of your head, and if you can't.
Yeah, so we open in the Momentary, I believe, on the 29th of September. And then we have a run there, and then we go to the Broad Stage in LA. And then after that, I have a digital North American tour up until the holidays. And then we'll be going further afield in the new year. So it's been really interesting to create a digital world tour from rural Scotland.
Yeah.
Really fascinating.
And the best part is that anyone can go on this digital world tour with you.
That's what's so wonderful about it, because I've had so many people contact me before saying they'd love to see the show, but they can't come to New York or they can't come to LA. And it feels really lovely to be able to create an experience that you can be sitting anywhere in the world and you can come and connect with me in my own childhood home.
Scott, thank you for your time.
Thanks so much, David.
Can't wait to watch it.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, my pleasure, and thank you for coming.
Take care. Hopefully see you at the show.
Yeah, I'll
Bye.
see you at the show. Bye.